Happy Thursday, March 28th. I'm not crashing anymore. I had to update my computer. So I am going to go here. What's that? Promo SMM. FU promo. SM. God, these people annoy me. Morning, Chris. You view your channel on okay. I gotta turn the volume down. I get these comments on the YouTube from obvious bots, but it says promo SM. Okay, let me open up. Let's do some scans. Morning, Chris. Morning, Q-Tip. By the way, look at TQQQ yesterday. That's a 4-hour. This is a 5-minute chart into the close yesterday. That was pretty impressive. Now, I don't know what extended hours looks like. Let's see. Because I just got done with yoga. I mean, if you take this back to Monday, and we kind of just look, that's Wednesday, that's Tuesday, this is Monday, and you kind of say, if you had bought it during a time where there was weakness, right about here, because we were playing this week, you're not quite up 1%. I mean, it's been a pretty dead week, to be honest. It hasn't been like fantastic, but now we're going to remove all these. Yes. Let's go to, why not remove this? Okay. Market scanner. So we're going to do some scans. Morning, Steph. Morning, Mark. Morning, Mike. What is CCCC? I don't even know. Apple with a cross up yesterday. CGC. Oh, why did I do that? Oh. Steph, just so you know, I have it in my notes. So I have it in my notes. Let's just do this. There was a stock, and let me open up this. AKAN. This is why it's running. It's because this pot company said, hey, we're going to look at the potentials of entering Bitcoin blockchain into AI applications in the cannabis industry. And so cannabis got a shot. AKAN is up 25% 84%. 84%. And so, pot gets a boost. Here's the thing, Steph. If you're going to invest in pot, first off, you have to be a pot smoker. Second off, you have to be able to go down to the dispensary and buy it. If you are a pot smoker, you will know, or an edibles person, going down to the local store, nobody does that in any state, even when it's legalized. Even when it's legalized. There is no reason to invest in cannabis right now. None. it will absolutely, the GOP senators, it won't make it past the Congress. So I wouldn't, don't worry about it. Go down to your local corner, see what the pot dealer's selling pot for, and then go to the dispensary and see what they're selling it for with all the taxes. And that's the problem that you have. It's still going to be, when it's legalized, you're still going to have the illegal trade, and it's going to be cheaper than the dispensaries. So I don't see a reason to get into pot. Now, I could be wrong. Like everything else, I could be wrong, but I just don't see any reason on that. CCL, Royal Caribbean's the alpha pick. I mean, CCL in pre-market down 1%. Look at that. I mean, buy it under its 200-day 15. It's probably going back down there. It's at 16.98. Probably going to fill this gap down at 15. But just buy it under its 200-day. There's no reason that, But, you look at a weekly. Is that a stock that you want to buy? 200 days moving negative, 50 days moving positive. But they just put out, bad guidance. So, I don't have any opinion. I do know Royal Caribbean, according to the quant, far better opportunity. But that's according to the quant, so you got to understand that's not a me thing. Steve mentioned it in his in that interview. So if you haven't watched that one, go and look. But John, if you want to put into Carnival, have at it. I just think I don't know enough about the cruise industry, and I'm not a fan of cruising. So I'd rather stick with what the quant tells me. But I haven't bought I have not bought Royal Caribbean either. I have to hit the do not disturb, or else some people may call and stuff. Yeah, Steph, you trade those things. I mean, the thing is, you can trade them, absolutely trade them. I just think people are investing in those things thinking they're going to make a fortune. And more often than not, I get, morning Chase and morning Q, I get the question, oh my God, should we get into cannabis? And the answer is no. For me, there's no real reason. Ooh. ETFs, VOVTV, RSP, VSS, VNQ, BEA, Spider, some spider sectors. XLF, XLRE Real Estate, BRK.B, XLI, and XLU. Industrials gets another boost higher. XLF just been a monster. I mean, an absolute monster. Real estate, I mean, it bounced off that 200-day. And the MACD's low enough. Interesting. Let's look at our watch list. GBTC, we have CAH for all of those who want an alpha pick. URI, Rivian, and Toast. This is Uranium, I think. United Rentals. This is an alpha pick as well. Cardinal Health has been on a tear. to say the least. Let's go to my not owned section. This may include some marijuana stuff. Typically it does. Abbott Labs, Rivian, SMMT. Nothing that I really want to put. SMMT, wow. Huge. What is AVTX? Is that the oh, it's a therapeutic. I mean, it's gonna run. Yeah, it's getting acquired. I mean, this is it's getting acquired. Look at the there's just not, it's not enough big enough float to even care. I wouldn't worry about it. Come on. You don't even have 1 million shares floated. Travis. Come on. Trade it. Do not think that that is anything more than a trade. Wow. Quarter to date NASDAQ gainers. NVIDIA, Constellation Energy. And Constellation Energy is up 59%. CEG. That is one I've gone over before, where it got big moves up in the algorithm. I know it was around here. Problem was, it when the earnings came out, 11 cents, that didn't look good. And then all of a sudden, boom. Now it's going for another leg up. Let's look at the Dow. J&J, which I hate, and Apple. Dow 30. Let's look at the NASDAQ 100. On semi. LGN, EA Sports, Ross Stores, Starbucks, EXC. That one certainly looks interesting. Exelon. EXC. Interesting one. Let's go to the S&P. This probably won't bear too many other things, but we're going to look anyway. AIG, CL, AMT, Southern Company, and NextEra Energy. And EE, I think that's what, yes, NextEra. Let's go back to the strategy tester. And we're going to go to the 4-hour. Boom. Yeah, Twilio. Twilio's done well. I mean, wow, look at NextEra. That's a big move on a stock that's rebounding. I mean, look at that. Did that put in a bottom or what? Hold on one second. Oh. Okay, let's look at Twilio. Because I wanted to get into this at 61. It's where it's trading at now, I guess. Yeah. I think it's going to come back up here. I mean, you know, Twilio is... And I got a note. I actually have to open these up, but I got a note in my SMCI moved from a to a buy. I guess not. Is this where it moved from Wall Street? No. It said in my thing that it moved from a strong buy to a buy. I guess it's back at a strong buy. I don't know. I think this one's putting in a nice, just little floor. 4 stocks to watch. We'll do this one. Four stocks to watch. Walgreen Boots slipped 3%. Shows a Home Depot climb marginally. Chemours slumped 11%. Palantir retreated more than 1.5% on the downgrade. Okay. I got a lot to go over, so let's open these up backwards. I think I can take this one out because I got that SMCI moved from a buy to a hold, unless it was this rating. Yeah, I guess in the Seeking Alpha Analyst. In the that's what it is. Okay, so it moved in the analyst rating. And we'll look at Home Depot. And we'll do this one. This is a great video, by the way. That I will try and play.
Straight right here.
We'll play that one. That is Full Self-Driving 12 if you haven't seen it. Snowflake moving. Altimeter Capital, Brad Gerstner, who I really like. He talked about 2 particular things. You know what? Let me move this. I'm going to take that and move it in front of here. And I'm going to take this. It's IWM. We're going to take a look at that. We're going to open this up. We're going to open this up. And we're going to open this up. Okay. Brutal. Yeah, Chase. I mean, any pot smoker will tell you nobody's buying it legally. In Denver and Vegas, and the only people who are buying it legally in Vegas are the ones who have a partnership with the dispensaries. I have a friend who is a spokesperson for a dispensary because she's got a pretty big media following, a model. Yeah, Snowflake has a huge buy. AppLovin is great. CLS, good one. Snowflake popped aftermarket with news. Yeah. And he's a great CEO, by the way. Brad Gerstner talked about him. Morning, Scott. ARM crashed, I think. I mean, it was just a matter of time. It's too expensive. ARM is down 1.35, but it's just too expensive. I mean, algorithm got you out today, or yesterday afternoon, ironically. But during this time, look at that divergence. And that divergence typically tells you that something is going to happen, whether it's another leg up or another leg down. And then you look at the valuation and you kind of tell yourself, it's got to be another leg down. Can't be another leg up, not with that valuation. So, I was going to start off a rant, but AppLovin, you know what? AppLovin needs to be in the stocks we watch. I'm going to add it to the watch list. It's in there. Okay. It's in there. I mean, it's turning over right now. It's gone on its run. You can see it capitulated right there, and then it went on its run. If you look at a weekly, it's even stronger. You don't have a 200-day yet, but your 50-day is moving super strong. So you're not even up to where you were in November 2021, which is 96. Do you get there? Probably. I mean, again, lower rates helps this one. So, Palantir's down. Apple is down slightly. They had a good move yesterday, though. We're not seeing it. Palantir's down because of that downgrade. I got to get into energy more. Okay. I have 42 freaking alerts. It's alerts that, on portfolio stuff. If you didn't know, this is the greatest thing about TrendSpider is the alerts. I mean, it's just you don't have to sit there and watch a stock. You put your portfolio in. If you want it, like I have an alert on the 4-hour algorithm for my portfolio. And on most stocks that have more than 5% in my portfolio, I do have an alert for a entry and an exit. And when I get that alert at 12:30 and 1 o'clock, or 12:30 and 4 o'clock, I take a look, and I go in there and I look at the charts and I say, I'm gonna trim, I'm gonna buy. It saves you so much time. And that's why TrendSpider is so good. So I should probably save that. Okay, yeah, let's do this. Let's just start recording. Good, Scott. I mean, that's a great trade. It's a great trade on ARM. Good morning. Happy Thursday, March 28th. I don't think this may be the last day of the quarter. I don't know. I mean, is there one more day of the quarter? It doesn't matter. The Qs in this quarter, I mean, if you just go back to January, January 3rd, 2nd, somewhere around there, we were selling for $405. So if you take the Qs and you look at $405 and you go, that's 10% that you're up in the first 90 days of this year. It's a pretty good, listen, for the Qs, that's great. Are you going to get that out of the second half? According to Tom Lee, probably. But you know what? Tomorrow, let's just talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, the markets are closed. You will not get a podcast tomorrow. But tomorrow, we also have PCE data and Powell speaking at 11:30 a.m. What's he talking about? Well, here, there's a Fidelity article that I said. Investors on edge with consumer inflation data due Friday. Rate cuts hopes to hang in the balance. So this is what Powell will probably be talking about is PCE and are they going to raise, blah, 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 the whole thing. Rates are coming down. He's going to be talking about the markets are closed, so you can't trade. Simple as that. There's going to be news, and you can't trade. People are nervous about this. So expect today to be a little bit of maybe a downer. People may be taking some profits. I won't be trimming. I won't be buying. I'm sitting there, and I'm not doing much of anything today. Today is your Friday. So I look at the MACD on the Qs. It's crossing down. The RSI is at 55. You still have a positive 200. You still have a positive 50. Is there any reason to get out? Probably not. But if you're in a trade like TQQQ at the beginning of the week, I might get out. You don't know what he's going to say. May not be worth it. Again, a 3-day weekend, you're holding TQQQ, you're holding a triple levered ETF, probably not worth it. But you can read these articles in the newsletter. One thing that I was saying about TrendSpider, it's got a limited time sale. It's on for today. They'll probably extend it over the weekend, but don't wait. If you're going to get it, do not wait until tomorrow. Get it today. It's $595. But one of the great things about TrendSpider are the alerts. So I went over yesterday how I go up and down on the brokerage portfolio. Today, I'm going to tell you, I set up alerts as well. So on the 4-hour algorithm, I have most of my stocks that are over 5% more my portfolio. I have alerts set up in TrendSpider. Alerts are included in this. So what happens is I set up an alert with the entry on the 4-hour so that I get an alert for the entry on any stock that I'm looking at. Okay, send me an alert. It sends me an alert when the algorithm says, hey, the alerts come in at 12:30 and 4 o'clock. At 12:30, I get a bunch of alerts. I go and look at the stocks. I can look at it on my phone through the TrendSpider app. I can look at it on my computer. Whatever I'm doing, I can interrupt my day and do that. At 4 o'clock, same thing. And if it tells me to get out, I make a determination. So one of the great things about TrendSpider are the alerts. You don't have to sit there and stare at charts all day. I tell people all the time, TrendSpider is like a charting program on steroids. It takes emotion out of the trade. It is unbelievably good. So make sure you're getting in on this sale. It's $595. If you can't justify that, I had 3 people email me yesterday. Is TrendSpider really worth it? My answer is yes. I am not putting bullshit on this podcast. I use this every day. So if you ask me, is $595 worth it to me? Absolutely. It's a Herculean task. If you are just learning charting, do not buy TrendSpider. If you are just learning technicals, go and get a free program. Go to my link tree and get Webull and download their desktop software. It is free. Just place $500, $200 into Webull. Get the app, but get their desktop software. Learn charting, learn moving averages, learn Bollinger Bands, learn MACD. I talk about it all the time. Learn RSI, learn everything that I see on my screen. Then learn how the stock charts move. Find your favorite stock and study it for 3 months, 6 months. But study the moving averages. See how it moves. Do not jump into TrendSpider if you don't know charting. If you do know charting, TrendSpider is the greatest charting program out there, in my opinion. But if you don't know charting and you don't understand technicals, take some time to learn it. If you just jump into TrendSpider, it might be overwhelming. Again, it takes a long time to learn this stuff. I've been doing this for years. But if you are trading with charts, there is no reason why you shouldn't be trading with TrendSpider. If you don't want TrendSpider, or if you're just learning about investing, then go to my link tree and sign up for the second one. That's Seeking Alpha Premium, 25% off your membership. That's what the link gets you. It's a Easter sale, spring sale, they're calling it. It is unbelievably good. I talk about the quant all the time. And if you're really new to investing, my suggestion would be Alpha Picks. Alpha Picks is the third link down there. And this one, it's just 2 stocks. You're going to get one next week. It's 2 data-driven stocks. They give you absolutely the analysis. If you go over here and I look at Alpha Picks, these are news articles that come out every month, every week. They tell you when to sell, they tell you when to buy, and they tell you the exact stock. Their performance, 130% versus the S&P at 38%. You'll hear, if you just Google how many hedge fund managers beat the S&P in a year, go and Google that. How many S&P managers make 130% over 38% S&P? Go and Google that. You will find out how good that performance is. So there are links here for everything that you need. These are the tools. I don't want you emailing me, by the way, and saying, hey, send me your 4-hour algorithm when you haven't signed up for TrendSpider. Understand, there are douchebags out there who have emailed me over the past few days and said, send me your algorithm. I can't. It's proprietary. Come on, that's like saying, hey, there's a plumber out there on the front of my lawn, and I've got a plumbing problem in here. I bet he's going to come in and fix that for free. Come on, douchebag. And by the way, it's not like I'm going to send it to you. I send you a link. You have to sign up for TrendSpider. You have to sign up for TrendSpider. I'm not going to send you my stuff. I give so much on this podcast for free that if you don't understand what an algorithm is, if you don't understand that it is basically a charting program that back tests against, here, QQQ makes 24% over 2 years. You are in and out, 24 times? Once per month. You make 20% with buy and holding. Go and buy and hold it. If you can't afford TrendSpider, just go and buy and hold it. Qs are that good. It's just as good. If you're trading MicroStrategy, you better understand charts if you're trading MicroStrategy. This one will move on a dime. My algorithm makes you 868%. You could pay for TrendSpider if you just invested in MicroStrategy. Buying and holding makes you 277%. There's 22 positions. Currently, the algorithm's in one of the 300% gains from, looks like January, the end of January, 300% on MicroStrategy. It's huge against Bitcoin. If you want to, look at MicroStrategy versus, we can just look this up on Seeking Alpha, because this is what you can do. MicroStrategy, let's look at it. Charting, we'll go to the charting. We'll do this against Bitcoin. We will select symbols and we will get rid of the S&P and we will do BTC. That's Bitcoin versus the US dollar. And let's look at MicroStrategy versus Bitcoin. Look at it. Just look at it. We can say year to date. Look at it. 6 months. Look at it. 1 month. As long as Bitcoin's going up, MicroStrategy is beating Bitcoin. That's the key to MicroStrategy. It's a levered Bitcoin. They basically take out loans. That's what it is. So understand, these are the tools that I use. These are the tools that I have. I'm not going to give you my hammer. I'm not going to give you my saw. But if you sign up, I do give it to you. It's free. It's just a link. It comes in and it's free. So, sign up for TrendSpider. Sign up for Seeking Alpha. Seeking Alpha, I don't need to give you anything. I can give you guidance if you ask me to look at a stock. I can give you all that. I give you so much for free. Why are you a douchebag and you email me and say, give me your algorithm? No, sign up for TrendSpider, douchebag. And everybody knows who I'm talking to. The people who are listening who have emailed me over the past week know exactly who they are. Douche. Yeah, don't get me started. I'm on a roll. 4 stocks to watch on Thursday. Walgreen Boots, they announced they're slipping. They got taken out of the S&P. This is a loser of a stock. Don't get into it. Home Depot has been on a legendary tear. They just made an acquisition. We'll go over it in a little bit. But this one has been on an absolute tear. I think it's down a little bit. Again, when a company announces, no, it's up a little bit. But when a company typically announces an acquisition, they're spending money. So the stock will typically go down. Now, Home Depot has just been, look at this since the October lows. We're going to take this and we're going to drag this up. The October lows, Home Depot is up 36% since the October lows. That is crazy for this big of a stock. If we look at a weekly, it's extended. You can see we were trading in this range. I said during this time, I said this is the trading range that you want to trade in on the weekly. When it gets down here, it's probably going to find support. It did find support. And boom, it's taken it out. Where are its highs? It's here in December 2021. That's at 400. You're at about 416 at the highs. So you still probably have that in the stock. It's a good stock with good earnings, good management, good products. And they're expanding into they're expanding their pro, which basically is the growth portion of this company, by acquiring this little contractor business that's in Texas. And it's not so little. But that's exactly what they're doing. So that's it. PLTR, we'll go into that. They were downgraded. They're moving as well. IWM. I posted in the Facebook group yesterday about how if you go over here to Seeking Alpha and you just look at market data and you take a look, they're going to tell you today, look at that. There's the Russell 1000 LGLV. There's the Russell 2000 and SMLV. If you want to trade these, you can. The Russell 1000, the Russell 2000, the S&P 600, the S&P 400, the S&P 500. They're all there. That's the low volatility US, equal weighted US. They give you all of these. Fundamental US, they give you all those. Momentum, you can look at the market data and it basically outlines it for you. It's really good and it gives you all of the symbols that you want to look at. Now, what happened yesterday? We'll look at SMLV, up 2.3%. That's the Russell 2000. So remember Tom Lee said that IWM will go up 50% from here to the end of the year. It was up 2% today. TrendSpider is saying Mr. Wyckoff would be proud. This is what's called a Wyckoff distribution. And essentially you can see this is exactly the chart that's happened with the IWM. Is yesterday a IWM? Remember, IWM benefits with reduced interest rates. That's why it's dangerous to buy it before Powell speaks, because maybe we don't get rate cuts this year. There's been a couple of Fed officials out there who have said, hey, we may hold for longer. We may not reduce rates this year. That would be bad for IWM. IWM long term, if we take a look at a weekly on this one, it's the Wyckoff. It's just sitting there and it explodes up. Now, October 2021, you got to your highs at 244. This is the only index that hasn't done it. So if Tom Lee is right, we're getting a 300 on this one. That's what he's basically saying. Altimeter Capital, Brad Gerstner, he was on CNBC yesterday. He made some news. He says the wheels are starting to change for Alphabet. I've said Alphabet. GOOG is the one that I suggest you buy because that's the one that Alphabet buys back. I've said 150. 150 is your point. You're over 150. It's starting to turn over a little bit. The MACD's a little bit high. Just buy it under 150. If it gets to 140, just buy it. Again, you got $1,000 to put in and you want to put it into Google, just buy $200 of it when it dips under 150. And then when it gets to 140, you can buy $200 more. When it gets to 145, buy $200 more. Let me take a drink of water. I was busy screaming at people. Gets me worked up. But yeah, Google, you can read this article on the newsletter. Newsletter is free. Again, the douchebags and the freeloaders, like Lucas says, the freeloaders out there, I give this stuff away. The newsletter is free. Go sign up for it. dailystockpick.substack.com. I'll have this article on Google. The other thing that I want to show you is Altimeter. He talked about Tesla. He's bullish on Tesla. I would tell you, Tesla, and I've been saying this all the time, I think Tesla, I think you have to wait until the deliveries are announced next week. I think Tesla is going to disappoint in the deliveries. Their earnings, I think China's going to come into play. I think China's slowing down. If you got in at 172, you're starting to turn over here. It's at 176. I'd be really, really worried about their earnings that are coming up on April 17th. I wouldn't be in this one right now. Honestly, I'm thinking about maybe buying TSLQ because this is the bear, and it's, algorithm just got you out with a 2.54%. Again, in TSLQ, over 20 months, it hasn't been around 24 months. Over 20 months, TSLQ in the algorithm, 16 positions. So not even once per month, you win 56% of the time. This is a bearish stock. So essentially, the bearish one makes you money. TSLA is bearish. Your average win on this is 13%. I do think that this one is going to turn around. Look at that MACD. It's down here. Again, this goes against Tesla. You haven't wanted to bet against Tesla. I would just be worried about those deliveries. Those deliveries may be weak. And if we see weakness, this one could go down to the 140s. I do think that it's over $200 stock, and I want to play you a video. And this video is of FSD 12.3. And this is where AI is taking, it's basically making decisions based on AI. It's not the 100% visualization right now. It's AI. It's trying to act like a driver. And we talked about it yesterday, how Elon Musk has said all 2 million, 3 million Teslas out there will have full self-driving, free for 30 days. They are going to train this model so well. It's going to be the most data that any other car company has ever gotten off of cars. And that's where I think Brad Gerstner is saying, hey, we're bullish. He bought more yesterday. He thinks that the launch of this stuff is going to be game-changing. He's taking a drive in Tesla. I have this on my car. I just downloaded it last night. I will try it out this weekend. But this is interesting. Again, look at that traffic. Now, what happens is the light turns yellow. Look, it automatically notices that the other cars were running the yellow. That's impressive. Again, compared to what the old software has done, this is super impressive. And that's why Brad Gerstner is saying, hey, Tesla might be a good buy. I just would worry about the deliveries next week being low and essentially pushing that stock down. So Snowflake, one that we've been looking at, CEO Ramaswamy buys 5 million shares worth. Stock popped. I think it was up 5% to 163 or something. We can look at Snowflake. It's at 162 right now. It is up 1.27. It's putting in that capitulation. Algorithm got you in at 165. I started adding at 165. I did not add down here at 154. What I want you to trade this with is the weekly. And this weekly, you're in this range. You're back to this range between 127 and 198. Does that mean you don't add here at 165? No. Ramaswamy is a great CEO. The transition was not very good, but again, I'm just adding, and then when it gets up here to 200, I'm trimming. I'm not trimming everything, but I'm basically getting my position ready. I do think that this is a good stock to be in. I think this is a good one. Again, Brad Gerstner talked about this one as well. Home Depot, we talked about it. They're buying this SRS distribution, $18.25 billion deal. It's basically going to open up the Home Depot Pro stuff. This is a good deal for this stock. RH Hardware. This one was interesting yesterday because Restoration Hardware announced their earnings. They went kind of crazy, and we'll take a look at the chart. But here's RH Hardware. This is the biggest movers of the day. RH Hardware, despite missing market expectations, RH rose 8% on the prospect of improved performance in home furnishings business. Demand in Q1 expected to grow in the positive mid to single digits. This was an interesting one because I'm going to take a look at the after hours on this. We're going to go into TrendSpider here. We'll go into a 5-minute chart, and I will do extended hours because I want to show you right now the market is open. It has opened up. So we're going to look at extended hours. I want to show you the reaction that you're going to see to earnings. This is the 5-minute candle right here. This was a 1.56% decline. It got all the way down to $270. So I want to show you what 10 minutes of the world would be. That is 10 minutes, okay? This is 5 minutes. That's 15% in 5 minutes, a 15% swing in a luxury goods. All it took was down at the end, the guidance. That's all it took was the guidance, and look at it taking off. Now, if you want to look at the weekly on this one is still under its 200-day. Are luxury goods back? Because 675. If we look at Restoration Hardware in Seeking Alpha, it's a hold. The valuation, pretty big. But if they're going to grow, this one may be a good one to get into. I don't know. I mean, again, it's been beaten down. Our house is number one. And that's a strong, it's a buy in the quant. It's a strong buy from Wall Street. We know from Steve's talk, take Wall Street with a grain of salt. The average price target is $17.40. There's 8 strong buys on the street with this one. The valuation is a D+. And we look at that peg, the forward, it's a D. So I'd say stay out of it. But Restoration Hardware was interesting yesterday. I wanted to point out that, let's look at GE. I have a note in my here to look at GE because I wanted to show you a weekly of GE. Here in the algorithm makes you 154%. Buying and holding makes you 144% over 24 months. That's what I want to show you is how crazy good GE has been. And we just want to look at, let's take a look at January because January 2nd, we were down here at 60, looks like it opened up at 65 the year. I mean, so far in just one, well, that's 2023. Let's get out of there. We're going to look at 2024 because 2024 started out right here. Let's see, January 1st. Here in 2024, it opened up at 127. So we're going to move up to 127 and we're going to look at that. That is up quarter to date. 3 months? Let's see. 2 months, 40%. This is GE. This is GE. This is industrial. This is what's driving industrials. And so GE went absolutely nuts. It's one of the biggest winners of this year. Still strong. In the 4-hour algorithm, we're in a run. Again, industrials have just been going on a run. Look at that. I mean, look at this one. This one is up. That's from January. You can see 154 days. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. That's crazy. That's just nuts. But I wanted to take a look at that one. Let's go back here. Super Micro. I wanted to point out it was a hold. It moved from a buy to a hold with Seeking Alpha Analyst. Now, there's 12 authors in the last 30 days. What Seeking Alpha does is they take Seeking Alpha Analyst and they say, okay, how do you rank this one? Is it a buy when they actually publish data? The articles on SMCI will be out there. And what they do is they put their, each article that they write in their opinion, they put it in there. Look at this guy. This guy had it a hold this entire time. He had it as a hold. Then he ups it to a buy. And it's trading at about $1,000 when it's a buy. And that was just March 23rd. You can see March 21st. This guy's a hold at 1,000. He rated it as a buy back here. Pretty good analysis. This dude has his sell March 15th. That hasn't done well, but he hasn't recovered it before then. You look at this. I mean, this guy has a strong buy March 14th at its absolute high. This guy has his sell at the all-time high. This is what you can do, and you can read the articles that they write. So that's why I like Seeking Alpha. If you're new, you can read these articles. It's really, really good. Marathon Digital. I wanted to point this out. This is a strong buy in the quant. Super strong buy. I like this one. This one, Mara. We talked about CleanSpark yesterday. CLSK. This is another one. If you look at this quant, this in the quant is, I think it's a hold, if I'm not mistaken. Charlie loves this one. He posted a video last night about Mara. I think Mara, one thing that I like about Seeking Alpha 2 is I can go down here in Seeking Alpha and I can scroll down, and in case you missed it, there's the most articles analysis for you. Recently viewed stocks and ETFs with quant ratings. So look, CleanHouse, ARS, it saves it all for me. So if I looked at it, it tells me, hey, you may want to look at this one because look at how good it's been. Some of these that I looked at before for some folks, yeah. And then it tells you the latest quant buys by sectionary. God, it's so good. Seeking Alpha. So you could go down a rabbit hole and stay there forever. Palantir dips as Mones cuts rating to sell on valuation. Palantir down about 2% in live trading, down 3%. I think this one, I still say under 20, buy it. It's put in this nice little VWAP down here at 22. You may get down there. It just gave you a buy at 24.57. The MACD kind of just capitulating. The RSI going down. I think if you get down near this 22, if you get a 22 handle on this one, I think you buy it. Honestly, even though I think it's expensive, it's got a hold in the quant rating, but I think you buy it. It has enough momentum to continue going the way that it is. It's a hold. The valuation, remember, we talked about, Steve talked about it. There's the peg to B-. I mean, it's growing faster than its competitors. Sector medium is 1.94. This one's trading at 1.59. It's 18% below. So I don't know why the quant doesn't have it as a buy, but hey, I don't know the quant stuff quite as well as Steve does. Bank of America. This was cut. This is in the core portfolio. And just remember, I'm going over the core portfolio stuff with some of the rating stuff. This was downgraded. They see, they see better valuation in, I think it's Citibank and others. Expects PNC's net income to grow to reemerge in 2024. So essentially, Bank of America, it's run. I mean, this is in the core portfolio. I was begging people during back here in October. I said, it's under 30. I said, this is the biggest bank out there. It's going to get up. Well, if you bought it, you didn't even have to time it. You could have bought it when it touched the 200-day and got some type of confirmation on the 200-day. And you're up, what? Over 199 bars, about 147 days, 31%. This one's been a great one. In my mind, I think Citi offers a great opportunity. This one, when you look at long-term, it's still recovering. It's just gotten above its 200-day. Let's look at the weekly. Sorry. TrendSpider wanted to take me back to the 4-hour. But there. Look at this. I mean, this hasn't even had the golden cross of the 50-day. The 50-day is just starting to move positive. This one at all-time highs, 81. Do you get back there? I think you could. The algorithm makes you 27% versus buy and hold at 10%. Now, mind you, that's 27 positions over 24 months. Got you in at 54. 63 too much? You still have confirmation. So there's banks out there that are still really, really good. In fact, today, I will ruin it, we had a cross-up on XLF. So the financials just got another bullish move up. Look at Charles Schwab. Charles Schwab, the MACD has moved down. You had a buy-in at 62.24 back in February. Did you buy it? I don't know. Again, this is where TrendSpider just comes into play. You can look at these. There is an article here. Conda, AKAN. They just mentioned that they're going to enter Bitcoin and blockchain into the cannabis market. What did this stock do? I think it's up 100%. Let's see. It is one of the biggest movers. It's up 56%. But what I want to really take a look at is I want to take a look at the after hours on this one, because if we look at the after hours on this, and we're going to go to a 5-minute chart, you're going to see when something like this happens, look at that move. That was when this article came out at 8 o'clock. Okay, that move is 37%. 37%. It got all the way up here to 33 cents. This is not one you want to play with because I think the float is rather small. 3 million shares. They are losing money. This is a cannabis one. It's healthcare, specialty, and generic. There is no insider stuff. There's nothing. This is how a stock can move. Year to date, it's down 41%. Expect this kind of stuff to happen in the cannabis industry as we get more kind of stuff. Social requests. I need to blow this one up so I can read it. It came in on email. Jared, Gary wanted to know, follow up on ARQ, formerly ADES. They've been crushing it. The stock took off after they beat the top and bottom line, delivered their first profitable quarter in Q4 2021. The stock appears to be well positioned to profit from the EPA's, I can't even pronounce it, along with increasing their gross margins. At the time of writing this, they are at $6.83 per share. I'm still holding my original position with an average cost of $2.65. Past week has been relatively flat for the stock, but in 1 month it's over 100%. From a technical perspective, where do you see the potential for this stock, and what does it have potential downside look like? To me, it looks like somewhere around the $6 level, but would love your thoughts. I told Jared his thesis on this one better than I could do because I just don't know this space. But let's look at ARQ, and I'm going to look at it here in TrendSpider first. We'll look at the chart. Where do I think it's going? Well, let's take a look at a weekly, because where do I think it's going? I think it's putting in you're going to see probably $8 be a huge, huge resistance for this stock. Look at where it bounced off. If we just put a line at $8, okay, we're just going to put, every time you change a handle, it's usually a resistance. Well, what's happened? Look at that one. Once, twice, 3 times, 4 times, it's tried to make it above that $8, and it hasn't. It hasn't. So I don't know if it's going to get above there, but that's probably your upper resistance. Your bottom resistance for me, if I'm actually looking at it on a weekly, I think your bottom resistance is, your absolute bottom is probably this $2 mark, $2.20. Because look at that first one where it popped up there. And you kind of, you could move this one up here, even at $2.48 to see that one. But I would listen, I'm not investing in this stuff. This is not one that even interests me whatsoever. But if you take a look at, we're going to pull this back to kind of the last time it popped up to that $8, the first time it really popped up to that $8 after it really got below it. We're going to take a look at that. Where's the VWAP? The VWAP is right here at $4.80, where that gap is. So in my mind, look at that volume shelf that it's putting out there. You're putting a volume shelf here at $6.34, between $6.34 and $6.92. So I think it's a great trade. Am I interested in it? No. I have no interest in this one whatsoever. I believe it's probably going to be a strong buy in this one. In Seeking Alpha, let's look at the quant. It's a buy from this guy, a pot at the end of the gold, at the end of the rainbow. It's a hold in the quant. It's profitability D-. It's a buy in Wall Street. But we can take a look at the quant rating history. It just started getting covered back here at $3.10, and it was a hold at $6. I mean, you've doubled it since then. So I don't know what you want to do, but Jared, in my mind, great trade, absolute great opportunity. I'd just be worried about that $8 mark. I'd probably be putting my stop losses in, to be honest with you, around $6.11 to try and take profits. I don't think that this is a company that you want to throw a ton of money into, but if you know more about that space, have at it. B33B, what to do with my BMR stocks worth $7.80? BMR, this is a AI company. It's more hype than anything. What do you do with your stock at $7.80? You get rid of it. I mean, if this were me, I'd have sold a long time ago. I would have listened to the algorithm. The algorithm, the 4-hour algorithm, makes you 184% over 13 months. Where did it tell you to get out? Told you to get out at $8.44. You would have made a great trade on that one. You've had 3 losing trades. There's no winners here. Their earnings are coming out on April 9th. Maybe you get some type of hype there. But look at the volume. I mean, there's no volume back here. Then you've got a little hype volume with this. This is all hype. I mean, BMR right now, if we go and look at BMR, I think it's probably going to be a strong buy, to be honest with you, on the quant. Yeah, it's a strong buy on the quant. If you believe, I mean, B33B, I would tell you, why did you buy it at $7.80? I mean, was it something that, you wanted, you thought AI, or was it hype? If you bought it at hype, you should trade it when the hype dies down. If you bought it for a trade it. Learn the charts and trade it. There is nothing that magical that I'm going to tell you in BMR because I don't study the company. It's not in the core portfolio. It's not something that I absolutely 100% know about, but I can tell you the quant says it's a strong buy. So if you believe in this company and you know more about it, have at it. I just don't know anything about it. What do you do with it? I'd sell it. You're on the downside of the 9-day. Even look at the 65-minute algorithm. And we'll trade BMR in the 65-minute algorithm. 65-minute algorithm makes you 209% over 8 months versus 147%. It got you in at 676. But look, it's just fluttering. There's no real volume. You can see when the stock goes up, it's all volume based. So you wait until the next hype trade. And when the volume dies down, this stock just dies down. That is 100% a hype trade. So what do you want to do? I'd sell it. If you believe in it for some other reason, if there's a fundamental reason that you believe in it, have at it. Taryn Barnes, DJT, thoughts. I went over this pretty well. I thought, I wouldn't even trade it. No reason. You should only buy DJT if you bought Trump water. If you didn't die off of Trump water. If you bought Trump wine. If you went to Trump University and you have that degree hanging on your shelf, buy DJT. If you felt those were good products with good companies, with good management, have at it. Then you can buy DJT. Then you can buy the Trump NFT collection. Then you can buy the Trump sneakers. Now you can buy the new Trump Bible. I went over this yesterday. He has years of grifting people. Look at his casino stock. I think it was 1995, bankrupt by 2000. So look at that. FYI, Wall Street Bets had a great comment yesterday. There are Waffle House locations, single Waffle House locations that have more revenue than this company. Not profit, more revenue than this company. It's not even profitable. There is no reason to get into this. None. If you want to trade it, have at it. Just understand. Here's what you have to understand about this one. So Trump can go to the board of directors. He's got a 6-month lockup, but he can go to the board of directors of this company, which, by the way, it's called effing Trump Media. He can go to the board of directors and ask them for special permission to remove his lockup. Then what do? Because if he starts selling, you're going to see this halted. And you're going to see it halted down to, and it's going to get back to $2. It's not worth it. It is 100% not worth it. Unless you're just, hey, I want to throw some money and I want to put it into Trump's pockets. That's exactly what you're doing. For me, if I wanted to put money in Trump's pockets, I'd donate to his campaign and at least get a freaking write-off on it. That's what I would do. Scott, SLB from Facebook, wants SLB. This is formerly Schlumberger. I think it's still called Schlumberger. I don't know. Energy company. Algorithm makes you 35% versus 30% buy and hold. Just had a golden cross on the 4-hour. I mean, this is energy. There's no reason not to get into this one if you like the company. Are you going back to all-time highs? I don't know. I mean, this one at all-time highs back here in 2017, you were at 84. I don't think the justification for that one comes back. But on the weekly, looks like you're still down. I mean, your 50 days moving positive. On the weekly, you're moving positive. 200 days moving positive. Everything seems to be going well. It's an energy stock. It's a good one. William, yo, Gary, Pan W, just going to hang out and consolidate here forever. What do your charts whisper to you? Pan W, this one I am still holding. I'm thinking of changing my my main investment in cybersecurity from Pan W to CyberStrike. You had the death cross here. 285, it is capitulating. It's on the downside. Pelosi pumped this one, and that was part of the problem is you saw this Pelosi pump back here, I believe. And then it got into earnings, and then they said, hey, our strategy may not be working, but we think that it's working. And then CrowdStrike came out and said, hey, everybody that's getting off of Pan W, they're coming to us. That's essentially what happened. So I don't know that it's necessarily going to capitulate around here forever. I see the MACD moving positive, but this hasn't moved positive. The RSI kind of just hanging out. Cybersecurity, you want to have access to it, but look at the weekly. I mean, look at how extended this stock actually was. So I don't know where it goes. I have a big position in it. I'd like to sell it at 300 because I think that's where the pop really happens. But in my mind, I think, again, it's a good one. I just want to build my position in CrowdStrike because I think that's more the retail one where people are really pouring their money into. I just don't know that CrowdStrike hasn't run too much. I did start a position in CrowdStrike, I think at 305, and we're at 325, I think right now, 325.97. And I've said with CrowdStrike, you're seeing a capitulation right here, and you're right in the middle. So if you want to buy at 325, have at it. I don't know. My guess is that this one continues higher. I just think that you look at the MACD coming down. The stock didn't come down that much. This stock went down here. I mean, it got down to 273. So if you can get this under 300, have at it. If you can't, Palo Alto Networks, it is what it is. Taylor asked me, first off, this is from email. Thank you for all that you do. I'm new to this and love all the insight I'm getting as I learn the lingo and trends to look for. While I've made some mistakes along the way, I'm happy to have you around and lean on with all your resources. For us new guys just starting out with small portfolios, are there certain things for us to look for? Is there a trading guide that you would recommend? Again, thank you for all that you do. I listen every day. I'm getting my coworkers into this. So Taylor, listen, Zip Trader has a great playlist. If you go to YouTube and just type in Zip Trader, he's got a playlist of how to trade stocks, and that's technical. And so remember, there are two types of trading. There is technical and there's fundamental. And what you want to focus on first, in my mind, are the fundamentals. And that's why I suggest Seeking Alpha Premium, because that's fundamental investing. You find your favorite stocks and you look at their quant. Alpha Picks, if you're brand new, Alpha Picks is a great one because that teaches you fundamental how to look at these things. What Zip Trader tells you is technical. And you can go over here to Zip Trader and you can go to playlists. And I think he's got 2 or 3 playlists. Getting started trading tutorials. There's about 70 videos in here. And he does a great job of teaching you all the chart stuff that you want to look at. Now, the other thing that I would tell you is look at the MACD. Look at the MACD. Go and I use YouTube to learn about the MACD. I use YouTube to learn about RSI. I use YouTube to learn which moving averages I liked, about Bollinger Bands. I include all of this in the newsletter. There's no, the newsletter has a paid section if you wanted education. This is everything that I trade with. All of this is everything that I trade with. So there is nothing hidden. There's nothing, there's my setup, confirmation, MACD, button hook, cross up, RSI. This is all the lingo. So if you want, this is the paid newsletter. If you want to support me, paid newsletter is probably the best way to go. And you can read about that. But in my mind, YouTube, there is no reason. The only reason to pay for a course is, you want it commercial free. So find the cheapest course that you can find, on Skillshare or something like that, if you want to go that route. But YouTube has plenty of stuff. Look at my screen here. Go and look up the 200-day EMA. Go and look up the 50-day EMA. You'll find plenty of stuff on YouTube. There is no trading guide that's going to get you in here. But if you are new, what I would suggest is while you're learning on YouTube, go over to Webull. Sign up for Webull. Use the fourth link here. Get some free stocks. And then download their trading platform on your desktop. Or use it on your phone. But paper trade, what paper trading is you just basically get into the stock and it's play money. And you look at how you do and you journal. When you journal, I suggest Savvy Trader. Savvy Trader, you can open up your own portfolio and you can paper trade over here as well. Basically, when you buy a stock, you don't have to do it. It's not connected to your portfolio. So you can buy a stock, you can paper trade over here. But start paper trading. Understand where the charts are letting you go. Understand what you're actually looking at. Just paper trade. And that's how you learn. Don't go and look for a course where you're looking for the lingo and stuff like that. All of that, if there's something that I say that you want to look up, go to Investopedia. Go to my newsletter. Ask me a question. I'm here. So absolutely, there are stuff. Taylor says, P.S. What do you think of Riot with crypto going up? It's a minor. You're fine. Trade it. I think if you like crypto, buy the freaking crypto. Don't buy the miner. You trade the miner, but buy the crypto. Own the crypto. Okay, let's look at some scans that show bullish. First off, Apple. We talked about how Apple got us out of the algorithm. It got you back in. 173.41. It's trading at 171. I think anything down here at 170, I think you're fine. If you get it with a 1.6 handle, that's even better. But, again, you want to take a look at that stuff. And by the way, why I suggest the core portfolio stuff, take a look at the core portfolio. I went over it yesterday, but when you compare the core portfolio is just 35 positions, and we're going to look at the total, gainers total. And SMCI, obviously the big winner. NVIDIA, 100%. Uber, 83%. Meta, 73%. Lilly. All I did was when I moved stocks into the core portfolio, I started this in June of last year. So it hasn't even been a year. But when I started in June of last year, I basically put these 100%. I bought 100 shares of each stock. It's equal weighted. There is nothing to this. That if one goes up more than the other, great. But you know what I spent the most money on? You can look at these allocation. We can look at the allocation. SMCI. No, where's the cost? Market cap. No, I guess. Let me see. Table. What did I buy? Yeah, average cost, total cost. Let's look at the total cost. Because if we just rate this by total cost, look at Eli Lilly. Eli Lilly cost me $54,000 because I bought it 100 shares at $54,000. Today, that's $78,000. It's a great return, 45%. You didn't have to buy 100 shares of this. Costco, I bought 100 shares at $520. Look at that return, 40%. United Health, I bought 100 shares of this at $46,000. That's only 4% gain. NVIDIA, I bought 100 shares of this at $434. The gain is 109%. QQQ, I bought 100 shares of this. It's $40,000. I bought this, I think back in December or something. It was very recently. VOO, I'm up 20% on. Losers, Tesla, I bought 100 shares at $270. I just put it in there. I have losers in here. Apple, it's down 7%. I bought 100 shares at $185. I'm not buying more, but this shows you the power of having a mixed portfolio where there are some winners and some losers. You don't have to be in and out of everything. So Tyler, I would say, hey, just look at a portfolio, look at the core portfolio here and pick, 4 or 5 stocks that you like and then track them and paper trade them. Until you get used to trading, I would suggest ETFs. BITC, this is Bitwise, 55.98. Are we going for another run on Bitcoin? Look at how low that MACD is. Maybe. I mean, this could take off. Right now, you're at 54.76. You don't have confirmation. I'd probably wait. I mean, maybe you might get a 4 handle on this one, but Bitcoin, I think it's going to hover around that $70,000 mark. I will put all of the scans in the newsletter. One that I want to point out is SMMT. We found this because there was a huge insider buy about maybe 6 months ago or so. And it's traded down. I mean, this one trades down hugely. Algorithm got you in at 372. Ironically, on this day, it was March 27th, yesterday, in the afternoon. Today, it's at $4.40. I don't even know. Was there news on this one? Let's see. Let's look at Seeking Alpha SMMT. This is Summit Therapeutics. It's a hold, C valuation. Stock plunges 28%. That's on February 20th. I don't know that there's any news necessarily on this. We can look at this. It's not making money. Just be aware. This is not one that I would trade this one. Not necessarily buy it and hold it. Look, the CEO bought $201,000 value. 24 million shares for 201,000. This was is this SMT? Yeah, Summit Therapeutics. That's why it's up so much. We had a big buy here. $3.72. Number of shares total 24 million. That's huge. Yeah, 2 buys. That's why that one's up. But that was one that we started tracking because there was a billionaire who owns this one. He had huge buys in this. So take a look at that one. Leveraged ETFs, we got a cross up here on SQQQ. One of the reasons why I tell you to be careful with holding a triple levered ETF over a 4-day weekend is because this one is now showing a little bit of a bullish tendency. $10.40. You're trading at $10.42. This doesn't mean buy it. I am not a fan of going short on anything. It just is an indication that, hey, there might be some indication that Powell may say something that isn't good for the markets, and then Monday you show up and all of a sudden TQQQ that was at 61 is now at 55. FNGD, FANG Index, 3 times leverage. This is the inverse. So again, this is bearish on FANG, 36.22. You're trading at 36.52. Again, kind of pointing in the bearish direction right now. DRN, this is the real estate bull. Conversely to the bear, this is the bull. $9.69 for the real estate. SDS, which I think is short, the ultra short. Yes, this is the S&P 500. Got you in at 25.11. So conversely, SPXU, which is the ultra pro short on the S&P 500. I think this is a smaller one or a bigger one. I'm not quite sure. Got you in at $6.51. You're at $6.46. There are a couple of ETFs that are thing too. Spider sectors are important to keep an eye on. XLF. I talked about it when I talked about Citi and stuff like that. XLF. This one, just huge. I mean, this one has just been an enormous winner at $41.95. It gets you in. This is just another extension. Look at that MACD crossing up. RSI is a little high. I would probably buy some banks instead of that one. But look at what banks are in there. XLRE, the real estate sector. This one, I showed this one I was looking at this. Look at that bounce right off the 200-day, 39.27. You're at 39.51. If we look at the weekly, you're using that 200-day on the weekly as resistance. That's at $40. So is this the time where it bounces up over that 200-day? Look at this. The last time that did that, January 23rd, it held it for 1 week. So maybe you want to wait for a couple of weeks to see if this can hold. There are volume shelves up here at 46. So don't think that people are just, getting out of this one. There are some pretty big volume shelves. I mean, the biggest volume shelves are down here at 37. If we pull this back, we're going to pull this back to COVID. Let's pull this back to COVID. That's 2020. And let's see. Most people are holding in here. There's a lot of people holding up here. So that's going to bring that stock up. At some point in time, this gets a push up. BRK.B. This is Berkshire Hathaway. I have this in the spider sectors just because it's a good indication of where the market is. Look, we talked about how that was providing support down there. Now the MACD is crossing up. The danger you have here is Warren Buffett's old. I mean, it's going to be a pullback if he passes away, because Charlie Munger just passed away. XLI, this one's going for another run. This is industrials. This one's going for another run. You can see 112 was the cross up. Now it's at 125. If we look at a weekly on this one, you're at all-time highs. XLI. I mean, it's just, again, this is the industrial sector is going for a run, and it's continuing going for a run. One that is recovering is XLU. And this one gets you in while you've been in. You got a nice 10% move here since February. And you're probably going to get up to 66 level. I mean, if we look at a weekly, you're just getting up to the 200-day. And I've identified this range before. That range on the weekly, before you can take a look at it. This is the long-term range right here. That's absolutely a long-term range. And you're looking at 35% range, but you're just getting to your 200-day. That $66 level is going to provide some resistance. I think utilities come back. I think as rates come down, utilities start to come up. Just my thought. So if you have any questions, hit me up. Remember, the spring sales are going on. I will have a paid newsletter this weekend. I may have a paid Zoom meeting. We'll see what happens. But thanks, you guys. Okay, take care. Bye. Yeah, I went on a rant, Lucas. That was a long show. I think I rambled too much. I just grabbed 30 more shares of snow. Snowflake, I'm telling you, Chris, in my mind, I don't know that I added yesterday, but I added a couple the other day. And it's one or two shares. But I think on that weekly, I think you're putting in a nice base here. I mean, look at that weekly for 3 weeks right in a row, where you're putting it in right between 158 and 165, 164. I don't think that's a bad buy. Again, if it's long-term, I think you're fine. I think this is a company that, will be perfectly fine. Do you get down here at 120 on a pullback? Maybe, but I think you're fine. Hey, good morning, D-Man and Scott. BBBY. Bath and Body Works. You love this one. It's been a good one. I mean, you love the candle stuff. I think you had mentioned to me about the candles. I can't get into this. I'm not a shopper there. But look, I mean, what's great about this one, you've broken the 200-day. I think you're getting to this portion right here. That would scare me a little bit. But you may have 55 in this because of that shelf right there. Look at that. Look at the volume shelf here. I hope it shows up on the screen. See that one right there between 51 and 53? And you've got a couple of weeks where you kind of just traded, where it found some support there. So it might not be a bad trade. I don't know that, 76. Let's see. Hold, warning of cutting its dividend. If they do cut their dividend, that would be a death. Has displayed warning signs that have historically led to dividend cuts. Dividend safety score of F. Over the last 11 years, 64%. Of stocks with an F did cut their dividend. Does that mean you should sell the stock? No, not necessarily. It just means that you should be careful when relying about dividends for your income. If the dividend cut is the only thing that's, let's see. Valuation D. Hey, that's good. Their PEG, it's 14% above the sector. Let's see, it's 5 out of 27. Let's see what they recommend. ODP. Ulta. Build-A-Bear Workshop and Dick's. Those are the ones that are above it. I own Ulta. I don't even know what ODP is. Strong buy for Wall Street. Digital workplace technology solutions for small, medium business. I don't know. GILD you love. Let's look at GILD. Not horrible. I mean, B plus, BB, 1 year it's up 74%. That's great. AZEC. This is one that I'd probably look at. I've been looking at this one for a little while. I just don't know if it's run too much. Because year to date, you're up 31%. Q, you're mixing. You're mixing here. So if you go to the 65-minute, and let's just look at it, Bed and Bath Body Works. You know what? Let's go to TQQQ, because I think the 65-minute works really good with TQQQ. 35% versus 34% buy and hold, so it does okay. So say you enter in at that 61.95. You're on 65-minute candles, so you're not on 1 minute candles. If you want to go to 1 minute candles, you can. You can trade on 1 minute candles if you want. I don't like 1 minute candles, but see how the 65-minute got you in. Let's see, what did it get you in at? Let's see. Here's 61.95. So 61.95, it got you in it. Say you bought it 61.95, and then you want to watch it on 1 minute candles and you want to trade it. 61.95, it's at 61.78. If I wanted to buy this on 1 minute candles, I would look at that 65-minute, say, 61.95, that was at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m., I guess, is when it got you in. And I would look at the 1 minute candles and I would say, you know what? 61.95, that's actually below the 9 day. I don't really have confirmation. Then I probably would have gotten in on this candle, to be honest with you, at 62.09, and I would have said, okay, let me trade it. You have to decide which candles you're trading on. I mean, that's what you have to decide, Q. It's not like you can use the 65-minute for an entry and then go to 1 minute candles and absolutely make money. If you get an entry on the 65-minute at 10 a.m., and then you have confirmation, I probably would have gotten in. And then this red candle, it loses confirmation. So I probably would have gotten out at 62. So you didn't make a ton of money, but if you got in at 61.95, probably would have, to be honest with you, lost your money. But right now on this 1 minute, I mean, that's too messy for me to trade. You go to a 5 minute candle, and that's a little bit better for me to trade. I would have said at 10 a.m., I would have said, hey, we do have confirmation. 65-minute got me in, but the MACD is super high. The RSI is at 66. Probably don't want to take that trade. It's not A+ for me. Yes, the 50 days moving up. The 200 days still moving down. The 9 days moving up. So you probably had some hope, but that MACD was super, super high up. So you're mixing kind of there. Remember, you can have 4 different time frames up. If we go and look at this one, 4 charts, 1 symbol. You can have a 1 minute up here. You can have a 5 minute there. You can have a 65-minute here. And then you can have a 4-hour here. So just depends on what you want. I mean, you can have all these different, charts up and watch all 4 on TrendSpider. And some will get, each one's going to give you a different look. For me, take that 4 hour, we run it, and see how it moves from over there to over here. So the 4 hour got you in at 63.75, hasn't gotten you out. But, if you're looking at the 5 minute, or if you're looking at the 1 minute, you're out. If you're looking at the 65 minute, you still have hope. Because this candle, while it's red, that's how you want to look at this stuff. There's no clean 100% way to absolutely, the algorithms guide you. I think somebody asked me, yesterday, I think it may have been D-Man, actually asked me on YouTube about if I think that the algorithm performs better than buy and hold, why don't I just trade the algorithm? Algorithm isn't absolute. Even when here's on TQQQ, the 4 hour makes you 14% over 24 months on TQQQ. Data analyzed over 24 months, you make 0%. So it makes you 14% on the 4 hour, but you make 0% buying and holding on QQQ over 1 year. 24 months, 2 years. 25 positions. Your average win 17%. Doesn't mean on this one you're going to get 17%. So again, it's just like I likened it in my comment to an analyst recommendation. It's just a technical recommendation. If I thought that, any algorithm or any particular thing, and this is where, Jason's office hours help you, was, he is 100% a technical trader. He doesn't care about, earnings. He doesn't care that, somebody's grandmother, bought a product and really loved it. He doesn't care about any of that stuff. He cares about the chart, and the chart is the only thing that he cares about. And so he will trade on bots. He launches strategy and he trades on bots because that's all he cares about. I care about more than just the chart. So for me, the algorithm is just a guide. It's just like an analyst recommendation, just like anything. I don't think of it as exclusive. 63.75 on this 4 hour. This one looked great. Look at this 4 hour. We're going to run this one. TQQQ on this 4 hour. Look at this. If I were to take this trade at 63.75, you had confirmation above that 9-day. That was a great, your MACD super low. But when I'm looking at it now and I have a little bit more information, I'm seeing this one trend down this way. Let me get out of here. I'm seeing this trend down this way. And come on. I don't want change. And I'm going to change this to white. And we'll put that in there. So look at that one moving down. Then what do I see during this time period? I see the MACD moving up. So there's a little bit divergence right there. What do I see during this time? I see the RSI during this time period moving down. So I see weakness. But this one looked great because of that MACD and the RSI at 62 during this time. I might have, like I said, at the beginning of this week, seasonally, QQQ looked really good, seasonally. So I didn't take the trade. I know some people have. I don't think they've lost a ton of money. I mean, here, if we just look at where were you at the beginning of the week, 25. You opened up at 61.80.48. 61.48. And right now, 0.4%. So, oh, which would you rather? So Amazon's over 180, and I look at Amazon on the weekly. I think it's got to, got 188 in its sights. I mean, that's a super strong run to get back to all-time highs. It's one of the grade 8 that hasn't gone up there. I look at Shopify and I say, it's running right up against that 200-day, but it's using this 200-day at about 80 as its resistance. I think Shopify has more room to grow than Amazon. And that's kind of my opinion. I'd probably take Shopify over Amazon, but we can take a look at the charting, select symbols, and we'll look at the history of Amazon over Shopify, because the growth of Shopify has been significantly better than Amazon. I think we can do price return, but just in case, I don't think there's a dividend in either one of these. Look at the 3-year. You can see Shopify is down 24%. Amazon over 3 years up 17%. 5-year, Shopify's up 287%. Amazon's only up 103. So I think your time frame, Amber, kind of determines that. If you look at 1 month, they're about the same. You look at 5 days, Amazon's destroying Shopify. 6 months, they're about the same. Year to date, Amazon's, beating Shopify. So Shopify is just expensive. I mean, that's what you have to understand is Shopify is an expensive stock. Now, we talk about the forward peg. That one there for Shopify is 25% below its industry sector. If you look at Amazon, the peg, it's 13% above. So it's a tough one. If it were me and I were trying to decide between the two, honestly, I'd probably just go 50-50. I mean, typically when I have a choice between two stocks, I try not to choose favorites. I'm just like, if I choose one, maybe I'll go 80-20. And I say, Shopify has a bigger chance. Doesn't make sense to throw all your eggs over into one basket. But if I had $100 and I were trying to decide between Shop and Amazon, I'd probably go $60 into Shopify, $40 into Amazon. I don't think you leave either one off. But I do think Shopify has a greater forward path, if that makes sense. I shouldn't say forward path. Greater. You probably have more volatility in Shopify than you have Amazon. Just Amazon Web Services, man, with the AI stuff. Oof. But Shopify has no costs. Shopify has all of this AI investment too, because what the CEO did was he just started investing the money. So again, Shopify, I think under 80 is great. Amazon just got over 180. So I don't think that it's super expensive. But okay. I'm out. I got to go edit this together. I will see you guys Monday. If you're a paid subscriber, I may log on, paid subscriber to the newsletter. I may log on Zoom if you're a paid subscriber. So I may or may not. I don't know. I got to decide. I just don't know what I'm going to talk about. I may be on tomorrow for paid subscribers around 8:30 for the but there's no trading. I don't know what you want me to do if the announcement tomorrow of PCE and stuff. Okay,